Hi, I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO at Discmakers. You know that moment, the rush of excitement that you feel when you finally send in your photos and your liner notes to get your album cover designed? You've been living with these songs for months, maybe years. You've got the artwork. You can finally picture the record in your hands. You upload the files, hit submit, and you're thinking, we're rolling. And then Preflight, a new word from a department that you've never heard of. Suddenly, everything stops. You get an email. There's questions. You're told about issues with the materials that you uploaded that you didn't even know were issues. And now, instead of excited, you're frustrated because everything looked fine on your screen. You knew how you wanted that album cover to look, and you just want the project to move forward. If that's ever happened to you, this video is for you. If you're working on your first album project and want to avoid this fate, this video is for you too. Today I'm going to walk you through the top 3 reasons album design projects fail the all-important pre-flight check. What that actually means, what we do when it happens, and most importantly, how you can avoid your project getting put on hold at this early stage. So let me start by answering this question. What the heck is pre-flight? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Design pre-flight is the critical check of all the graphic design assets that you supplied us, such as photos, liner notes, design instructions, any other artwork assets, before our graphic designers start working on your cover design. Similar to a pilot's pre-flight checklist, it identifies problems like low resolution images and missing information that can grind a project to a halt at the design stage before we actually get to design. Every Discmakers cover design job goes through pre-flight first before it's assigned to a designer because we like to keep our design team as productive as possible without interruptions caused by questions about the supplied assets. So now that we know what pre-flight is, here are the top 3 reasons an album cover design will fail during pre-flight. Reason number 1, low resolution images. This is hands down the number 1 issue that we see. And here's usually what happens. Images that look perfectly fine on a phone or a laptop or on Instagram often don't have enough resolution to print well. Screens display images at a much lower resolution than is required for good-looking printed album covers. Printed products, digipacks, vinyl jackets, inserts require high-resolution images, typically 300 dpi, or dots per inch, to look sharp and professional. When a low-res image is enlarged to print, it can end up looking blurry, pixelated, or soft, not crisp, even if it looked great on screen. And that can make an otherwise solid design feel unprofessional in the final product. So what do we do when we catch this? First, we check to see if you might already have a higher resolution version of the image. It's not that unusual that artists do, it just wasn't the version that got uploaded. If that doesn't exist, we'll suggest some options, using a different image that you have a high resolution version of, or swapping in a similar print-ready stock image from our huge licensed stock image library. Or maybe reworking the design to use alternative imagery or a different visual approach that still supports your concept. We don't just stop the project and throw the problem in your lap. We give you choices, we explain the trade-offs, and we let you decide how to move forward. How can you avoid this? Always start with the highest resolution images that you have. Avoid pulling images from social media, screenshots, or website, or using an image that someone texted or WhatsApped to you, which is usually, those images are all compressed. When in doubt, assume that if an image wasn't the original uncompressed photo from the camera it was taken on, it may not be print ready. The second most common issue is missing or incomplete information. This happens when key elements are not submitted. Things like the final text or image files or track listings or layout instructions or clarification on what you actually want the design to communicate. Design decisions are driven by content. If something critical is missing, our designers are forced to guess, and guessing leads to revisions, delays, and frustration for everyone. When this happens, we pause the project in pre-flight and clearly flag what's missing. We ask specific, targeted questions to minimize back and forth, and once we have what we need, the project moves forward cleanly. Our goal is not to slow you down. It's to make sure that the final design reflects your intent without unnecessary revisions. How can you avoid this? Well, before submitting, make sure everything is truly final. If something's still in flux, let us know up front. Clear direction at the beginning almost always means a faster, smoother process overall. The third reason projects fail pre-flight is unrealistic expectations. This usually shows up when a design request requires something outside the scope of our design services. For example, highly specific custom illustrations, imagery that can't be sourced from a copyright-free library, or concepts that will require a custom photo shoot or assets that the customer doesn't have. Look, we genuinely want to bring your vision to life so that you can be thrilled with your album cover. But some ideas simply can't be executed as described within the constraints of time, budget, or available assets. When that happens, we'll reach out to explain why the request can't be done as proposed, and then we offer some alternatives, maybe different imagery, layout techniques, or a slightly simplified version of the concept that still captures the spirit of what you're trying to do. In most cases, once the artist understands the constraints and sees how our designers would approach it differently, they're comfortable giving the designer discretion, and they end up very happy with the final result. How can you avoid this? By all means, come in with a clear vision, but also be open, be a little flexible. Trust that our designers are thinking not just about aesthetics, but about what will actually work well in print. Perhaps most importantly, we want you to fill out Discmaker's Design Information Guide when you order your design. You can do it on our site at the time of ordering, and it covers things like the mood or the style you're trying to create, and allows you to upload other album designs that you like and any other design instructions. I'll put a link to a download to a PDF in the comments section below. So, to recap, the top 3 reasons projects fail design pre-flight are low-res images, incomplete information, and unrealistic expectations. Pre-flight is not about rejecting your project. It's getting you the best-looking album cover possible while working within your budget and time constraints. Our job is to help you avoid surprises, prevent delays, and deliver a finished product that you're proud to put your name on. If you give us strong assets, clear direction, and a bit of flexibility, we'll do the rest. And I am so confident that you'll be thrilled that we are the only company in the industry to offer this satisfaction guarantee on our design services. If we can't make you happy with our design, we'll refund all your design fees. You can have someone else design your project, and we'll still be happy to make your CDs or LPs for you. When you work with us for your all-important album cover, you can rest assured you'll be thrilled.